Well, regular viewers will know that contracts are a regular talking point on this show. Right now, that's also the case at Liverpool Football Club as well. 3 of their biggest players are out of contract come the end of the season. Mo Salah is one of them, and he spoke publicly on his situation at the weekend.
Well, we're almost in December. I haven't received any offer to stay yet in the club, so probably I'm more out than in. In the end, it's not in my hand. So, as I said before, it's December, so I haven't received anything yet about my future. So.
How do you feel about the fact there hasn't been an offer then? Does that disappoint you?
Of course, yeah.
Jamie, you reacted quite strongly to that on British media. You said it was a selfish move.
Yeah, it was. I stand by that. I wouldn't change that. No, for me, it's not even a debate. That's a fact. You know, that did not help Liverpool going into the Real Madrid game one way or another. But certainly what I've found over the last few days is the way the world's changed in terms of dealing with big players. And I think this started with Messi and Ronaldo, where a lot of people, especially on social media, almost become fans of the player rather than the club. For me, the club was always first. And they're like sycophants, really. They just nothing these players do they can ever get wrong. Now, it reminds me a little bit of what the certain time. We all know certain parents whose kids, no matter what they do, they'll blame someone else. It's always someone else's fault. Now, I love Mo Salah. He's one of the greatest players to ever play for Liverpool. I'm desperate for him to sign a contract. But anybody who thinks that was right, what he said, must be a sycophant or must be in cloud cuckoo land for me, because that is not right. That was wrong. I love him to bits, but you've got to be strong enough and right enough sometimes to call something out. But for me, when I was in that situation, getting older with a contract, I'm in a completely different space to Mo Salah, completely different level of player. The man on my right, you were the star of your team. Mo Salah's the star of this team. Have you been in a situation like that with Arsenal, Barcelona, or any clubs where you're in that situation contract-wise?
So, reaching the end of my contract, no. But talking about a contract, yes. Now, like I said, I always try to emphasize with people and see their point of view. So if I see what he's trying to do and how he goes about it, I'm not okay with how he went about it. I can understand what he tried to do. Now, do I agree with it? No, I don't agree with it, because I wouldn't have done it, and I've been in that situation. I think for me, when you talk about your contract or whatever it is, you do it inside. You talk to the board, and you speak to the board and you deal with what you need to do. And when you leave or you don't leave, you explain to people why you left or why you stayed. Timing was wrong for me, just because of what the situation is right now, Champions League and in the league. We're not talking about the quality of Mo Salah. We're talking about the club. We're talking about that Arne Slot had to speak about it before the game. So timing was wrong. Do I understand what he did? If I go in his shoe, yes, I can understand, but I think he was wrong of doing it. I wouldn't have done it, and I didn't do it. Talking about contract, we're talking about. No.
Yeah, but how much is it Salah's fault and how much is the club's fault? Because if you allow a player to get to the last 6 months of the contract, surely we're talking about Trent as well, we're talking about Van Dijk and Salah, 3 best players over the history, the last 5 years. You've allowed them to get down to 6 months. So the club must have a part to play in that, Jamie.
Yeah, Trent's a completely different situation. I agree with you to a certain extent on that. You wouldn't want to let him run a contract down. But when players are getting to 32, 33, we all know that. Your contract doesn't get sorted until probably 6 to 8 months before the season finishes. You're not going to go to someone at that age with 18 months to go. Because, as I said, you don't know how they're going to be the longer it goes down. Now, for me, I've been caught in sort of this thing with Salah. My problem is not with about Salah in terms of getting a contract. It's about him speaking publicly. Now, if you want to speak publicly, which this will never happen, but if Mo Salah wants to come out and be really transparent about his situation, the club haven't offered me a contract. Well, if you want to, let's get it all out. How much do you want? How long it's for? And then we can all decide whose side are we on. I might be on Mo Salah's side. But no one knows the facts, so you can't go against Mo Salah, you can't go against the club, because no one knows the detail. Now, if you're asking me, I think Liverpool may have a rule where they say, let's say, for instance, someone 32, 33, they get an extra year. I think Virgil van Dijk and Mo Salah are that good of players right now. They also never miss games through injury, never. For me, they get 2-year deals. You have to move the needle a little bit for these, because these are a little bit different than, say, maybe when Jordan Henderson was in this position or other players, because they are special players, some of the greatest players to ever play for the club. So for me, I would be giving them a 2-year deal. They may want 3. The club may be saying 1. A 2-year deal for them on the same type of money, which is amazing money. You know, and that's where I would be. You do have to move the needle a little bit for players of this quality.
Out of those 3 players, who do you think will stay and who do you want to stay?
I think they'll all stay.
You do?
I think Van Dijk will stay. I'm not worried about that one. I actually think Mo Salah is speaking about this situation a lot right now, because I'm not sure how many other options are out there in terms of the top European teams. He doesn't want to go to Saudi. This is a guy who's driven. He wants the records, he wants the most goals, and he wants that with Liverpool Football Club. Trent Alexander-Arnold, I think the reaction to him will be different to Mo Salah when we start talking about his. I think he'll get a lot more criticism, because when you're a local player, a lot's more thought of you. And I think the feeling of the Liverpool supporters will worry him a little bit, and I think he'll end up signing.
You're suggesting he'd end up signing because that will move him, kind of that concern around...
I think he would be very worried about the reaction if he didn't sign and he left on a free to go to, say, Real Madrid. I think the feeling with Liverpool supporters would be a lot different to what it has been of late in the last few days with Mo Salah, because he's a local player. And when I've seen that with Steve McManaman, when he went to Real Madrid on a free, he was a great player for Liverpool. So was Michael Owen. Those 2 players, and actually Michael Owen did an interview today where he said at times when he goes back to Anfield, he doesn't feel welcome and he doesn't feel sort of secure going back there. And some of that's to do with playing for Manchester United. I get that. But a lot of it was to do with leaving Liverpool. And he didn't leave on a free. He left for 12 million. And I think that will be in the back of Trent's mind at the moment. And I think when you're a local player, you don't want to lose the legacy that he's already got. He's been there since he's a boy. He's 25 now. He's won everything. You don't want to lose that. And I think he'll sign.
Thierry,
Sorry, go
ahead. If you're a Liverpool coach, which of the 3 do you prioritise, and on what kind of deal?
Wow. Ooh. The thing is, like I said, and Jamie should know about it way more, because he's a local lad and he follows the paper there. As a coach, you want to be strong defensively first and foremost. So Van Dijk will get my vote at the beginning, because you want to build on something. And but I've said it so many times on this show, is that for me, who's the most important? Van Dijk is important. The most valuable is Mo Salah. So you would like to keep both. I know you asked me which one, but if I was there, I would have made sure that that would have been done before. Because now you're asking me a question that I wouldn't have liked to be in that situation. So I need to talk about this situation, but it would have been sorted before. It should have been sorted before.
Yeah. By the way, does anyone else remember Jamie Carragher mentioning his contract renewal a few times before it actually got done publicly on television, before the deal was made? Just wondering.
Yeah, it's all right when it suits him.